All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty big happening over in the Japanese auto industry.
Yeah, definitely big news.
The global auto industry is always, kind of in this constant state of flux,
Hmm.
and things are changing. And this latest development could have a big impact on,
Absolutely.
on what we're all driving in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a really big story.
So we're talking about the potential merger of two of Japan's biggest automakers,
Hmm.
Honda and Nissan.
That's right.
And potentially even Mitsubishi might be joining in.
Yeah, that's part of the discussion.
So just to emphasize how big this could be, we're talking about
Yeah,
the potential creation of the world's third largest automaker
it's massive.
behind only Volkswagen and Toyota.
It's truly massive when you think about the scale of it.
Yeah. So
These are huge companies.
like, how big are we talking here?
Well over $180 billion in revenue.
Wow,
Something like 329,000 employees.
that's a lot of people.
That's a small country.
Wow, that's crazy. But it's interesting because when you hear about a merger of this size,
Right.
um, one of the things that comes to mind is this a power move? Are they trying to just,
Dominate the market.
take over the world kind of thing?
Sure. Yeah.
But from what I've been reading and kind of, digging into it, it seems like it might be more of a defensive strategy.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to look at it.
Okay, so what makes you see that?
Well, I think if you look at both of these companies,
Yeah.
Honda and Nissan, especially Nissan, they've been facing some challenges in recent years.
Okay.
In particular, Nissan. I mean,
Yeah.
they've announced 9,000 job cuts,
Oof.
which is a pretty huge red flag.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
And so I think, there's a sense that this merger is partly driven by Honda maybe trying to rescue Nissan a little bit.
Okay, so Honda's doing okay then.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
Okay. And so they would kind of come in and scoop up Nissan and try to,
Yeah.
I guess make it all work.
Yeah, consolidate.
Interesting. And what is it that's causing these struggles for Nissan?
Uh-huh.
Are they just, not making cars that people want to buy? Is it
I mean, that's always a factor, right? I mean, you
Okay.
have to make cars that people want to buy.
right?
But I think there's a bigger context here, and I think it has to do with the rise of Chinese automakers.
Okay. So they're feeling the pressure.
You're feeling the heat. Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me more about this. How are the Chinese automakers kind of changing the game here?
Well, I think if you look at the global auto industry right now, it's going through this incredibly tricky and expensive transition to electric vehicles.
Right.
And Chinese companies are entering that space very, very aggressively,
Interesting.
often with a lot of government backing and support.
Yeah.
And they're able to move quickly. They're able to invest heavily. And they're putting a lot of pressure on these traditional automakers like Honda and Nissan.
So it's not just that the Chinese cars are, maybe cheaper or
It's not just about price. It's
okay.
about, the technology, the innovation.
Okay, so they're really kind of pushing the envelope.
Absolutely.
So is that kind of the thinking behind this merger? Is Honda and Nissan are thinking, hey, if we team up, maybe we can kind of
Yeah.
stand a better chance against these Chinese
Yeah,
companies.
exactly. I think that's a big part of it.
Okay, so what would be the, if this were to happen, what would be the potential benefits of this merger?
Well, I think the biggest potential benefit is combining resources.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, you think about all the money that goes into research and development.
Yeah.
You think about the global supply chains that these companies have to manage.
Right.
By merging, they can potentially achieve some pretty significant cost savings.
Right.
They can increase their efficiency. They can become more competitive.
So it's kind of like, strength in numbers kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay. But, as with any merger, there are always potential challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the things that, they would have to overcome if they were to make this happen?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges with any merger is integrating two different corporate cultures.
Right.
You've got, two companies that have been doing things their own way for decades.
Uh-huh.
And trying to bring those two together can be really difficult.
Okay, so it's not as easy as just, signing a piece of paper and saying, okay, now we're one big happy family.
No, it's a lot more complicated than that.
And I imagine there's also the human element to this as well.
Absolutely.
You've got all these employees.
Yeah.
What happens to their jobs?
Mhm.
Are there going to be layoffs? Are there going to be factory closures? Those are all
Those are all big concerns.
Yeah, big questions that need to be answered.
And then you've got the question of government approval. Regulators will definitely scrutinize this deal.
Sure.
They'll want to make sure that it doesn't stifle competition.
Right, of course.
And then, of course, you've got the shareholders.
Yeah.
What do they think of this deal?
You got to be happy, right?
Well, some might be, some might not be.
Okay.
It depends on, how they see the long-term prospects of this merger.
Yeah, you've got all these different, stakeholders that are kind of involved.
Exactly. It's a complex situation.
And they all have to kind of agree
To some extent, yeah.
for this to work.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just, Honda and Nissan kind of making this decision in a vacuum.
No, it's a much bigger picture.
There's a lot
Of players involved.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Okay, so we've talked about, the potential benefits, the potential challenges,
Right.
but there's also another kind of wrinkle in all of this, and that's the involvement of Renault.
Right.
Now, for those who don't know, Renault is a French automaker, and they actually own a significant stake in Nissan.
That's right. They own 34% of Nissan.
Wow, that's a big chunk.
It's a big chunk, yeah.
So they're kind of a major player in this whole thing.
Absolutely.
What's their stance on this merger? What are they saying?
Well, from what I've seen, Renault seems to be supportive of the merger.
Okay, so they're on board.
They seem to be, yeah.
Okay, but here's where it gets even more interesting, and
Okay.
kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into things.
All right.
Reportedly, Foxconn, the Taiwanese company
Right.
that manufactures iPhones for Apple,
Huge company.
is reportedly interested in acquiring Renault's stake in Nissan.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Yeah. So it's not just, a Japanese auto industry shakeup. It's
global.
It's global now.
Yeah.
Wow. So we've got, Honda, Nissan, maybe Mitsubishi,
Yeah.
Renault, Foxconn, all kind of circling each other.
Absolutely.
It's like a high stakes poker game.
Yeah.
With billions of dollars on the line.
It's high stakes for sure.
Wow. Okay. So what does the market think about all of this? I mean, have we seen any reaction in the stock prices?
Yeah, the market is definitely paying attention.
Okay.
Nissan stock has actually surged
Really?
since the merger talks
Right.
surfaced.
How much are we talking?
Over 28%.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
Quite. And what about Honda?
Honda's stock has actually dipped slightly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you make of that? Why would Nissan stock go up and Honda's stock go down?
I think it suggests that investors see this merger as more beneficial to Nissan.
Okay.
It kind of reinforces that rescue mission narrative that we were talking about.
Yeah.
They see Honda as potentially getting a good deal,
Right.
picking up Nissan's assets and market share at a discount.
Interesting. Okay, so the market seems to think that this is a good move for Nissan.
Yeah, that's what the stock prices are suggesting.
Okay, and as you said, it remains to be seen
Absolutely.
how this all plays out.
It's going to be interesting to watch.
This is a developing story, and
Sure.
we'll be keeping our eye on it.
Yeah, definitely.
So for you listening, what does this all mean for the cars that you might be driving in the future? I mean, will we see a Honda-Nissan hybrid rolling off the assembly line? I mean, who knows? But it's definitely something to think about. And even if this merger goes through,
Mm-hmm.
can this new Japanese mega corporation really hold back the wave of Chinese automakers? I mean, that's a big question.
Yeah, that's a big question.
And it's one that we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, I want to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about this potential merger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think it will be successful? Let's have a conversation about it and see what the future holds for these companies and for the auto industry as a whole. And of course, if you like this kind of deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We're always digging into the latest and greatest, and we love having you along for the ride.
You do.
All right, so until next time, take care.
See ya.